What up, Space Fam? Goes in here from AnimeUproar, and I'm here today to discuss the latest episode of the final Attack on Titan season. If you like the idea of me dropping weekly episode reviews and want to keep them coming, then the best thing you could do is Warhammer, smash that like button, and share this video with any Attack on Titan fans that you know. If you haven't, be sure to subscribe, and this is crucial. Hit that notification bell and select all, or you will miss future Attack on Titan videos. And while you wait for the next insane episode to drop, feel free to check out our growing Attack on Titan playlist, where we got videos about all the Titan shifters and their powers, all the Acromans and their powers, the Titans ranked from weakest to strongest, and much more. Link to that is in the description. Now, without further ado, let's jump into it, spoilers and all. This episode starts with a flashback of Reiner and his mom talking, and his mom lets him know that his father isn't here because he's Marleyan, but makes him think that if they were to become honorary Marleyans, which you can do by becoming a warrior and inheritor of a Titan power, then things would be different. Remember, Marleyans usually view Eldians like Reiner and his mom as devils who can turn into man-eating titans. The anime is definitely breezing through the chapters, as a lot of things are cut short or cut out when compared to the manga, and we'll get into some of those things as I move forward with the review. But this will be a mainly Reiner-focused episode, helping us to understand his evolution from weak boy wanting to make his mom happy and reunite his family to where he is now, a clearly traumatized man. We get to see Reiner and other Eldian children pushing themselves for a chance to become Titan shifters and thus honorary Marleyans. The anime takes out a lot of Reiner's struggle, like his falling behind Marcel in the run, Bertolt beating him at the firing range, Annie beating him in combat, and then in the manga it shows him finally doing well in a written test because he is able to illustrate so much loyalty to Marley. And because of this final reason, he got chosen as a warrior candidate. And pretty much that just means he got chosen because he is sufficiently brainwashed into thinking the people on the island are actually devils. The anime skips a scene of him telling his mom the good news that he became a warrior candidate, and it skips him promising to inherit one of the 9 titans to her so they can become honorary Marleyans. During the convo between Zeke and the other candidates, in the manga, they're in the middle of physical training while they are just chilling out eating apples in the anime. 6 out of the 7 will inherit powers, and we get the scene where Reiner's optimistic, but Porco says he'll never inherit it since he's the weakest of the group. In addition to saying all Reiner's got is loyalty, he also mentions that Reiner makes sure to lick the captain's boots every day, something that didn't make it into the anime. Reiner's response is also shortened. In the manga, he uses more extreme brainwashed rhetoric, saying, and I quote, "Don't you know who's on that island? Devils who've brought fear to the entire world. It's only a matter of time till they start slaughtering again unless we kill them. Are you insulting our mission?" End quote. While in the anime this is shortened to, "Are you making fun of our mission?" I would have personally liked for them to keep this, in my opinion, important info and maybe even add a bit more, but it definitely seems like the anime is rushing through the manga here. In the anime, Reiner also calls him a stray restorationist rather than an Eldian restorationist who supports King Fritz. Again, less specific. Porco knocks Reiner to the ground and Bertolt helps him. In the meantime, Annie seems to kill a grasshopper, and I'd love to know what you guys think of that. Why did both the manga and anime emphasize that? There is definitely a parallel there with the way that the Marleyans viewed the Eldians as disposable and subhuman, as if they were insects as well. When talking to Bertolt, Reiner reveals that he doesn't care about Ymir's curse, which means that Titan inheritors can only live for 13 years after inheriting the Titan powers. Clearly, that time limit is on Bertolt's mind. But for Reiner, he's willing to dramatically shorten his life if it will make his parents proud, and if his father will finally accept him, and they'll be one big happy family, which would make his mom really happy. Even though Reiner is the guy who helped destroy the walls and kill countless innocent people in season 1, including Eren's mom, we see here that he's not necessarily a villain in black and white terms. In his view and the view of his friends and family and his nation, he's a hero who's trying to save the Eldians on the continent and make his mom happy. Not to mention, he was brainwashed as a child. He's obviously still wrong for what he did, but we're starting to see that things are never that black and white in Attack on Titan. Let me know how you feel about Reiner after this episode, by the way, in the comments. Do you simply hate him, or do you have some pity for him him as well. We also see Eren during this time, whose upbringing is very different than Reiner's up to this point. They both have walls that surround them, but Reiner has been discriminated against and is willingly putting himself through hellish trials in order to make his mom happy, while Kid Eren, up to this point at least, is more carefree, even bored. He wishes something would happen, something out of the ordinary. Little does he know that he'll get his wish, but in the most horrifying way when the Titans finally break through the wall. We then get an intro to all of the Titan powers inherited by the Marleyan warriors, which is cool. We actually get some images added here which we don't have in the manga. They let us know that the female Titan is versatile, has great mobility, endurance, and its hardened strikes are very destructive, especially when you combine them with Annie's martial arts skills. The female Titan can also call pure Titans. Then there's the armored Titan specializing in hardening, able to destroy the gates of any wall with a full speed charge. It represents Marleyan's shield, and they picked Reiner because of his perseverance. The Jaw Titan is an assault weapon. It's fast and small, with both jaws and claws that can crush nearly anything, and I'd like to know what it wouldn't be able to crush personally, if there is any known thing that even these claws and jaws couldn't destroy. We see that Marcel's version, like Porco's version, has the hardening around the face and claws, unlike Ymir's version. They gave it to Marcel because he's quick-witted, and Zeke's Beast Titan is brought up along with its throwing ability, and it's mentioned that his blood has hidden power. Of course, we know that this is referring to Zeke's unique abilities to control Titans that are turned using his spinal fluid. The Cart Titan is known for its outstanding endurance, which makes it suitable for long missions, and it's the only one outfitted with different equipment to extend its usefulness. Peak got it thanks to her superior judgment. And finally, there's the Colossal Titan, and they do a great job in the anime of showing off its explosion ability. It's straight up called the God of Destruction, and I sort of feel bad for Bertolt because they just say he'll be able to handle it, not mentioning any reasons or strengths of his, as they did with pretty much everyone else. While these powers are reintroduced to us, these guys are actually crushing a nation at the same time. Maggoth the Sane One still thinks it is stupid to send children alone on a mission to Paradise Island, and he's totally right. They would go on to lose 3 of the powers before luckily getting the Jaw Titan back from Ymir. But the kids get sent anyways, because they are thought of as Eldian monsters rather than as human children. We again see Porco picking on Reiner, this time because he's jealous that Reiner got the Armored Titan power instead of him. Again, Marcel apologizes to Reiner on his brother's behalf, something he did the first time Porco quarreled with Reiner too. Finally, we get the 4 kids, Reiner, Bertolt, Annie, and Marcel, taking off, and they are greeted by crowds of people celebrating them as heroes, including Reiner's mom, who is teary-eyed and proud of her son. Reiner waves to her, but then notices a figure entering a building. As it turns out, this is his Marleyan father. And this is one of the saddest moments for Reiner. We'll get into another sad moment later, but here, his dream of reuniting his family is completely dashed. He did everything right. He became an honorary Marleyan, but we find out that doesn't actually have any real meaning to Marleyans. No matter how hard he tries, Reiner cannot bridge the gap between himself and a Marleyan in this society. His father even says that if anyone finds out he's the dad, his whole family will be screwed and he'll be hanged, meaning A, honorary status is pretty much worthless, and B, he has another family that he cares way more about and doesn't care about Reiner. Imagine doing all that work in the pursuit of a dream and then having your dad react like that. What Reiner is being told here, and at a very young age, is that no matter how hard he works, he'll never be enough or as good as a Marleyan. He then jumps back to his mom waving to him, and he decides even without a dad, he's still a chosen warrior, he'll still save everyone and be the world's hero. Some pretty important stuff is cut out of the manga here, including the fact that his dad calls him and his mom devils, and the fact that before he leaves, his mom tells him that she's sure his father is praying for Reiner's success. She has no idea that Reiner went to see his dad and his hopes got completely trampled on. And so the manga is even sadder for these reasons. But anyways, we jump to the island, and the brainwashed and naive Reiner keeps on getting more and more disillusioned. He realizes that he's the only one present who truly views the islanders as pure devils, and so felt no remorse at the thought of destroying them mercilessly. For him, he's like a chosen angel of God who's charged with fighting pure evil devils, while the others know that they're going to be killing humans, and the only difference between these humans is what side of the wall wall they happen to be on. Then Marcel drops the truth bomb and he says sorry again to Reiner, suggesting that he was probably apologizing to Reiner about this the whole time. Reiner was never meant to be chosen as a warrior. He was the weakest. However, Marcel talked down about his brother and elevated Reiner to the military so that he could save Porco, his little brother, from the tragic fate of becoming a Titan shifter and getting only 13 years longer to live. And even that is only if he didn't die on a dangerous mission first. This continues to mess with Reiner because his brainwashed self never thought that being chosen as a warrior could be a bad thing. So he thinks it's absurd that Marcel's apologizing for making Reiner's dreams come true. Reiner's naive ideology was challenged when he found out that his father would never accept him and his mom. And now again, when the value of becoming a warrior has been brought into doubt. In a short period of time, everything he thought he knew, his whole worldview and purpose for living, has been brought into serious doubt. Combine all that with being a double agent child soldier later on, and you can totally see how he developed mental issues, like split personality disorder. But as if him hearing this truth bomb from Marcel after everything wasn't traumatizing enough, this is when Emir's mindless Titan appears and almost eats Reiner. He then witnesses Marcel save him and die before his eyes, and then Reiner just runs away. Definitely not the behavior you'd expect from a self-proclaimed hero. At this point, Reiner is the epitome of cowardice, which you can't really blame him that much because he's a little kid. He's crying thinking that Annie and Bertolt got killed too, and that he'll be next. When Annie kicks him, he screams like a baby, scared out of his mind. And it's funny how Annie mentions that Reiner for the first time beat her in a long distance race, which further emphasizes how scared he was. Annie points out that they should have transformed and stole the Jaw Titan back immediately, but when Reiner and Bertolt started running away, so did she. Without Marcel, they have no leader, and that could lead to many more mistakes and problems. As a result, Annie wants to go back to Marley, but Reiner won't have it. Notably, in the manga, he gets a flashback of his mom saying she knows he'll be able to complete the mission, and that is why he refuses to go back now. He doesn't want to disappoint her more than anything. In the anime, Annie just suggests that Reiner won't go back because he'll get killed for messing up. He goes on to rationally explain that they'll all be in trouble since they all ran away, and catching the Jaw won't be possible because it is the fastest and can run away, and they'll be sitting ducks after using too much power. Annie starts to accept that Reiner is right about them needing to get the founding Titan, but she's also angry and blames him for the situation. She proceeds to beat him up badly. In the manga, it seemed to pass quicker since it only lasted a page and a half, but in the anime, it affected me more because of how long it seemed to go on for. Reiner then proceeds to tackle Annie, holds her in a chokehold, and says that Reiner is dead. He'll become Marcel, the confident leader they need, and that is the moment that Reiner changed from the worst student and crybaby to the outwardly confident Reiner we see during the beginning of Attack on Titan, the one Eren looks up to. Obviously, Reiner is messed up and does horrible things, but I do like this idea of being able to transform yourself in order to achieve your goal. It's unfortunate though that Reiner's goal includes making the lives of the Eldians within the walls a living hell. We then come full circle to the beginning of Attack on Titan when the Colossal Titan appears, except this time we focus on the warrior perspective. In the manga, it did include Annie's Titan being used to attract pure Titans so that there would be maximum destruction after the gate was destroyed. In the anime, they missed this so that you could potentially assume that Annie didn't have as important a role to play in the destruction. We also see the Smiling Titan pass right by Bertolt, very abnormal behavior. So this suggests that Dina Fritz's Titan did appear to be drawn to her husband Grisha Jaeger and his new family. After all, after passing by Bertolt, it can't be a coincidence that she goes for and kills her old husband's new wife. Then Reiner transforms and says he's not ready for this to end because he still doesn't understand anything. And as he thinks that, he breaks through the second gate in his armored Titan form. Notably, in the manga, the translation is "I don't want this to end here, I haven't changed anything yet." A significantly different translation, so the anime focuses on more knowledge, while in the manga the focus is on making an impact on the world before he goes. But either way, it's a powerful moment coming from someone who wasn't supposed to be born, since Marleyans aren't aren't supposed to have kids with Eldians, he wasn't supposed to be a warrior, and he was supposed to have died instead of Marcel. Yet despite all of those things, he's still here and refuses to go down without a fight, without trying to move forward and get some answers for his seemingly unwanted existence. By the time Annie awakens within Wall Rose, Reiner is the clear leader of the group, comforting them and saying he'll be the warrior he should have been. Keep in mind that Reiner's like a 12-year-old child right now, and he's taking all of this responsibility on his shoulders. Although we know his actions are wrong, we can also see from this episode how he got to the messed up place he got to, and he clearly wasn't motivated by evil. We also have some fill-in-the-blank moments in this episode, like how they got their backstory from a guy who left his children behind when the Titans arrived and then later hanged himself. And we see Annie trail Kenny Ackerman, trying to find out about the royal family, only to run away from him when she figures out how skilled he is. I gotta say, Annie's kick that helps her get away is beautifully animated here. And despite some people not loving the CGI this season, I think the animation has been great so far. If it continues to keep up this level of animation until the end, I'll be more than satisfied. Then we get Annie saying to Reiner and Bertolt that she wants to leave to go back to Marley, bring the info they have, while Reiner refuses since they have very little information considering they've been here for 5 years. Reiner suggests destroying Wall Rose, and when Annie mentions his new friends dying, Reiner says that they are not friends but devils, and despite what Reiner says, it's clear that the lying takes a toll on him, as we'll see later in the episode when he almost takes his own life. Annie is distant and aloof with the others, not wanting to be friends with her enemies, while Reiner is even more committed to killing them but acts like they're best friends. It's almost scary how good Reiner is at deception, though it does come back to haunt him later on. We see Eren getting tired from training and Reiner showing up like a big brother to motivate him. He asks how he can be like Reiner, and he's worried about dying without doing a damn thing. Keep in mind, that's what Reiner feared when he broke through the gate in the manga, dying without doing or changing anything. So the parallel between them is even more clear in the manga. Reiner sees his younger self in Eren and tells him to do what he has to do and to keep moving forward. He says that's all we can do and finishes off the speech by saying that he knows Eren can do it. And that behavior, juxtaposed with the fact that he's the enemy who killed Eren's mom and so many others, is too much for Reiner to take. It haunts him to the present day, the lie he lived, and we see him in the present with a rifle in his mouth. The only thing that keeps him from taking his own life is the fact that Falco happens to hit the wall, and this jogs Reiner out of his mental hell and reminds him that he still has a purpose, to look after the younger generation of warrior candidates. If it wasn't for them, Reiner would have already taken his own life because of all the horrible things he's done. This episode ends with Falco seeing a self-proclaimed liar who says he's being treated for emotional trauma. And honestly, I feel like almost everyone in this series should be treated for emotional trauma. This whole conversation is fascinating. Falco is sad because Gabby will inherit the Titan power, but the wounded Eldian soldier is glad Falco won't inherit the power because he seems like a good guy and he wants Falco to live a long life. But Falco doesn't want Gabby to get the power in his place because he wants her to live a long and happy life, so he hates the fact that he's so powerless to do anything about it. The wounded soldier muses about war and how if everyone knew what would come of it, nobody would go to war. And I'll quote him here because it's important stuff. He continues, and I quote, "Most people are pushed by something, forced to march into hell. That something wasn't their choice. Their situation or others made them do it. But people who push their own backs see a different kind of hell. They can see something beyond the hell. It might be hope. It might be another hell. Only those who keep moving forward will ever know," end quote. And bam, we see a future Eren looking back at us, and if you didn't recognize that from his look and from his overall importance in this scene, then you'll remember that Reiner had told him the exact same thing in the flashback about moving forward. What a crazy episode, and it really served as a tribute to Reiner's character and his evolution from the beginning to now, how he went from a young optimistic boy to a suicidal depressed adult after experiencing the realities of war firsthand. And just as Reiner decided to keep moving forward all those years ago when he broke through the second gate, Eren clearly has a plan to keep moving forward, putting himself through hell out of his own free will, hoping for something good, but knowing that it may just be another hell. But still, he doesn't want to die without doing anything. I gotta say, this is arguably my favorite manga ever, and the way it captures the complexities of reality is something very few stories can do so well. I think this final anime season is going to be great, just as the first 3 episodes have been, even though they do cut out more manga stuff than I would have liked them to cut out. I'm not a huge fan of that, but what can you do? Either way, I am hyped about this final season. I'm hyped to see how this mind-blowing modern classic will end, and I can't wait for the next episode. But anyways, thanks for watching. If you do want to see episode reviews like this one for future episodes, then let me know in the comments, and by Warhammer smashing that like button. If you haven't, be sure to subscribe, and this is crucial, hit that notification bell and select all, or you will miss future Attack on Titan videos. And while you wait for the next insane episode to drop, feel free to check out my growing Attack on Titan playlist, where we got videos about the Titan shifters and their powers, the Acromans and their powers, the Titans rank from weakest to strongest, and much more. Link to that is in the description. And I especially want to thank the Patreon squad over on Patreon and here on YouTube who help make videos like this one possible. First and foremost, I want to thank the patron of legend, the one acknowledged by Lord Twigo himself, and the most donated champion of the world, Alpha Sigma. And are the 1-tier patrons, the ones who stand atop all clans: Ingrata, The World, Acquire Respect, Liam Thompson, Pate Hefa Rithian, Phoenix Anime 987, Emperor Otaku, Thomas Jones, Spidey Life Tanel, Baked Buddhist, Tungsten Tarkus, and Denki Kaminari. And our Pro Hero tier patrons, the one and only Gilgamesh, Steelers, Angel Cruz, Anatoly Kazatski, Cricket XP, Joe Stanton, Very Gucci, Jessica Califant, Alicia Actor, Bonnie Parks, Hinokami and Water, The Red Haired Raven, Florian, Joanne Garcia, Jack Watches Anime, Fat Boy Games, Manhwa Freaks, Deadly Saint, Matthew Cruz, and Anthony Schreiber. Thank you all so much. If you do enjoy our work, you could support more of it by going over to patreon.com/AnimeUproar and becoming a patron today for as little as $1. If you do so, you'll get your name featured in future videos alongside these amazing people right here, and you'll even get access to our private patron-only Discord where we talk about anime, life, and of course, dank memes. So check out patreon.com/AnimeUproar, link in the description if you're interested. You can also join the YouTube channel by clicking the blue join button next to the subscribe button that you've hopefully already destroyed. So yeah, you can support more content that way if you prefer. Whichever way you choose to support us, you can get the same great benefits. Thanks again, and until next time, see ya, Space Cowboys!